Hello. Today I wanted to take some time out to talk about something that really was inspired by something I experienced about a week or so ago. Um, the subject I want to talk about is acceptance and acceptance of parts of oneself and acceptance in general of the cards that life deals you. There's a little story that goes with it, so bear with me. I will get to the point eventually. Um, so what it was is since the start of this year, I've been working in my first proper job sort of thing because, well, I had worked before then, but since university I'd been looking for work, and my only work that had really taken the form of short-term internships and voluntary work and work experience. It's been good overall. It's been really good, and I've experienced an awful lot, and it's given me a good opportunity to actually get into the workforce and to start my career, whatever my career is actually going to end up being, because I have no idea. You can give me suggestions, please. But yeah, it's been really good. But what I've noticed is I'm tired a lot of the time, and this is probably not going to be anything different to what anyone feels when they go to work in terms of being tired. I mean, hey, you're working, you're going to be tired. But I mean, I'm very physically tired. And at first I thought it was just because I'd just started and, my body would get used to it, which to an extent it kind of has. But still, pretty much every day I'm feeling very tired physically, and then obviously on top of that, at the end of some days, mentally. So I was kind of feeling, a bit fed up of that, but I thought it's part of being in part of the workforce, and suck it up. So it was only when I actually had a conversation with a student in the place that I work for, because I work for a college, um, and he has cerebral palsy as well, as me. It's a slightly different form than mine, but it affects us in quite similar ways, we found. And he says we're discussing things and just asking how each other is and stuff like that, and then I started complaining that I'm always tired, and I find it kind of sometimes quite hard to just get through a day. Um, when it comes to the weekend, I have minimal energy for anything. I was having a bit of a moan, and he was saying, well, yeah, because having cerebral palsy means you use up a lot more energy than the able-bodied person. And I thought, well, okay, yeah. And I've heard this before, and I know it to be true, but I never really considered it uh, for myself, I suppose. I was always kind of knocked it off as a little bit of spiel for me, because my cerebral palsy doesn't limit me too much in terms of it doesn't mean I'm in a wheelchair or anything like that. So I guess I kind of always was a bit harder on myself when it came to using cerebral palsy as an excuse. I always thought, you're tired all the time because you're an unfit, lazy cow, which is very true. I could be a lot fitter, I could eat a lot healthier, and there's no denying that, and that's probably part of the reason why I am tired. But then I kind of realised, you know what? Actually, I think my cerebral palsy does play a part in this. Newsflash to me. I think everyone else knew it before I did. So I come to realise that very slowly, and I was having a particularly stressful time at work anyway, and I just sort of hit a bit of a low point, only a minor one really, and I started feeling very down on myself, and just just very low, and but then I was kind of berating myself because I thought, okay, well, Holly, you've had cerebral palsy for your whole life. You can't start now doing the whole thing again of, oh, I'm disabled, You just don't have a right to do that. That's what I felt like saying to myself. And I felt like, look, you've accepted this already. So how are you now getting upset again? How do you have these like peaks and lows, you know? Every time I fall over, every time I have a setback to do with my disability, I have a low. And I think, well, just get over yourself, you know, just move on. It's part of you, it's part of your life. But after thinking about it for a while, I actually was thinking, well, you know what? Just because I've accepted something doesn't mean I can't be sad about it ever again. It doesn't mean I can't be frustrated about it ever again. Why should it be that I don't allow myself that? And I thought about it in terms of grief. When you lose someone, when someone close to you passes away, you go through a stage of grief, and it comes to, hopefully, acceptance. But just because you've accepted that that person is no longer in your life, you're no longer going to see them again, physically at least, depending on your beliefs, doesn't mean you can't be sad about the fact that they're gone ever again, just because you've accepted the fact that they've gone initially, you know? Because you don't, do you? When you've lost someone close to you, when they've died, you don't forget them. You probably think about them basically every day of your life, especially when times of anniversaries, their birthdays or whatever comes around. It gets hard. You have low points. You feel sad. You miss them. But you still have accepted the fact that they've gone. So I was thinking, why don't I extend this to myself? Why am I being hard on myself for the fact that I still have low days about my disability every now and again? I just wanted to make a video about it really because it made me think, just because we accept things, it doesn't mean that we can't be sad about them, we can't be upset about them, and I think we should cut ourselves some slack, you know? And I think this applies to a lot of things in life, stuff that you accept fundamentally, but it doesn't mean you're exactly happy about the situation that you're in. And I think that we should allow ourselves that space to feel sad and to feel frustrated and to feel low about these things. And that's not to say that we then bog ourselves down with it, because we can't do that, because we wouldn't get anything done if we did. But we still need those times where we do feel this. We can't push it down and deny ourselves these feelings. It was a bit of a round the houses way to get to my point, but I hope it illustrated it well enough. My dog Charlie is hanging around, by the way, if you can hear him. So yeah, that's the underlying point I wanted to make, is the fact that just because you've accepted something doesn't mean that you have to never feel any negative feelings towards that subject or topic or person or anything ever again. Yeah, thank you for listening. Charlie, what are you doing? Did you ruin my video? Yeah. Ah. He's having a bit of a hot time today because it's really warm outside. Yeah, you're a hot dog, aren't you? Yeah.